Hey guys, welcome to Comic Basics. I'm Joel, and today's episode, the top 10 most feared Shazam enemies of all time. Shazam has had a history in comic books that very few characters have had. He was created before Wonder Woman, became more popular than Superman, has a power set that most mortal men dream of, and then dropped from the spotlight of publication due to a legal dispute. Throughout his history, however, one thing has remained the same: his enemies. Of all the heroes within DC, none have a stranger and more diverse set of enemies. From a worm to a crocodile, no hero can boast what Shazam can. But who are they? Who makes up the most bizarre enemies list in all of comics? No fear. Here are the 10 most feared Shazam enemies of all time. 7 deadly enemies of man. We all know the 7 deadly sins: pride, envy, greed, sloth, gluttony, anger, lust. Go ahead, count them. That was 7. In DC Comics, each appear as a demonic enemy to Shazam. A long time ago, the wizard who gave Billy Batson his power imprisoned the 7 enemies. However, time and again, the 7 got out and caused problems. When out, the 7 are able to possess any human who shows the worst of the characteristics. That is, they possess and amplify the sin that each individual naturally displays. King Kull. As the ruler of a group of prehistoric people, King Kull is no pushover. Hailing from a time period where brutality and violence kept you alive, King Kull was trapped in suspended animation for many lifetimes. When he awoke, he found himself out of sorts and in the 20th century. Although he almost never leaves victorious against Shazam, his daunting size and strength make him an adversary not to be trifled with. Mr. Atom. As a massive radioactive robot hell-bent on ruling the world, Mr. Atom is deserving of a spot on this list. Mr. Atom is the creation of the mad scientist Charles Langley. For his creation, Langley bestowed the robot superhuman strength and endurance. He can also fly and fire blasts of fire from his hands. Because he utilizes fire and he is a robot, it only makes sense Mr. Atom is impervious to fire. As far as Shazam enemies go, his inclusion is a must. Herkimer the Crocodile Man. If it seems a little ridiculous that a Crocodile Man is one of the most feared Shazam enemies, you're right. That, however, won't stop me from putting him on this list. He hails from the planet Punkus and is only one of an entire species that looks like crocodiles. Don't let his look deceive you though. He has been a thorn in the side of Shazam for decades and is so advanced that, for a time, he led the Monster Society of Evil. Mr. Mind. Bear with me. Yes, Mr. Mind is a worm. And yes, he looks as threatening as a baby who can't crawl. However, if history has shown anything, it's that looks can be deceiving. What Mr. Mind lacks in stature, he more than makes up for in smarts. This is so much that he successfully united many of Shazam's enemies and formed a Monster Society of Evil. And it gets better. There was a time that Mr. Mind transformed from a worm into a terrifying moth creature. Ibec. Created back in 1942, Ibec and Shazam have a history as old as any. As a petty thief, Stanley Printwhistle got caught up in a scheme that saw him attempt to blow up a bridge. After the explosion went off, Printwhistle was tossed from the bridge. Now face to face with death, Printwhistle sells his soul to the devil in exchange for great power. The only stipulation, aside from his soul, is that he kills Shazam. With the words Ibec, the frail Printwhistle is transformed from a small and harmless old man into the brutish and powerful Ibec. Sabac. Shazam is an acronym for the gods he gets his powers from. Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury. Sabac is also an acronym, but instead of gods, his power is derived from 6 demons: Satan, Aum, Belial, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Cratius. Once said, the mortal man Timothy Carnes transforms into Sabac and is gifted superhuman strength, speed, endurance, and durability. Furthermore, he can dispel blasts of fire from his hands, has fire breath, and he can fly. Captain Nazi. Similar to Captain America of Marvel, Captain Nazi is the byproduct of a super soldier experiment. At the height of his power, he was placed in suspended animation and not heard from for decades. Eventually, he did awake, and after doing so, he realized that all he fought for years before had died. While in a battle with Shazam, he hurt Freddie Freeman and killed his grandfather. Freeman's injuries were so bad that Shazam ended up giving him some of his power. When he awoke, Freeman could transform into Captain Marvel Jr. Dr. Savannah. Of all the Shazam enemies, none are as evil as Dr. Savannah. After serving a large portion of his life in exile on Venus, Dr. Thaddeus Savannah returned to Earth where he planned and plotted to put an end to Shazam. More than that, he plotted ways in which he could cause harm to those who made him an outcast. Dr. Savannah is on this list for two reasons. First, he's a high-level genius who hates Shazam for all that Shazam has been given. And second, he has 4 children, some of whom hate Shazam as much as he. Black Adam. As another to be granted power by the wizard, Teth Adam is a force to be reckoned with. Once powered, Adam was supposed to be a champion of Egypt. He was supposed to serve his people and bring about prosperity. Instead, he ruled with an iron fist and rained down fear on the people. With a similar power set to that of Shazam, Black Adam is as close an equal as any on this list. He possesses heightened strength and speed, he can fly, is nearly invulnerable, and can use various forms of magic. And I'm going to wrap it up there. The top 10 most feared Shazam enemies of all time. Before you take off, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. Both really do help this channel grow. Thanks guys, I appreciate you coming by, hope you'll come by again, and I'll catch you next time.